Thank you so much for joining me today. This is the Her Strength in Him podcast, where we talk about love, faith, family, and everything in between. I'm your host, V, and it has been quite the week for me, let me tell you. We celebrated both of our babies this week. The boy turned 19 on Wednesday, and the girl turned 14 on Tuesday. So it has been a week full of birthday celebrations. Outside of that, my aunt and cousin came to visit from Texas, and I absolutely love spending time with them. We also had the opportunity to have dinner with some friends of ours, and my social battery is just extra depleted. Capital depleted. I didn't put an episode out last week because I had an idea to put out sort of a bonus birthday episode, and I even interviewed my daughter. We did sort of like a birthday interview, but with everything that we had going on last week, I just did not have my whole heart into it. So I gave myself a little bit of grace and didn't stress about getting an episode out. Well, I didn't stress out as much. I just spent the week enjoying time with my family. I let myself have a little bit of fun, which is the perfect segue into today's episode. In our fast-paced and often hectic lives, the pursuit of balance and joy is vital to our overall well-being. While we focus on our responsibilities and our commitments, it's equally important to carve out some time for fun. Here's why finding that balance and joy through having fun is crucial. First, it stimulates creativity and it promotes mental well-being. It offers a chance to escape from routine and engage in activities that bring joy and satisfaction. This mental break contributes to a healthier mindset. I need to keep this in mind more regularly. It also helps with our overall physical health. Many leisure activities involve physical movement. Well, not a whole lot of my activities, but you get the picture. And that's essential for maintaining good health. Whether it's a hike in nature or playing a sport, having fun and staying active keeps you physically fit. Prioritizing fun activities also helps establish a healthy work-life balance. It prevents burnout, it maintains productivity, and allows you to return to work with a renewed focus and enthusiasm. Sometimes fun activities align with your passions and your interests. Engaging in these type of activities reignites your enthusiasm for life and reminds you of what truly brings you joy. And ultimately, finding balance and joy through fun activities enhances your overall quality of life. It adds depth and fulfillment to your existence, making life more enjoyable and meaningful. Incorporating fun into your routine will require intentional effort, but the rewards are so great. By striking a balance between responsibilities and fun, you not only improve your physical and mental health, but you also cultivate a happier and more fulfilled and balanced life. So don't forget to make time for fun because it's an investment in your well-being. And you already know how we do things around here. I do my best to incorporate scripture into everything. With that being said, let's turn to the Bible to see what it says about having fun. Believe it or not, there are a few things in here that supports fun in our lives. First, let's go over to Ecclesiastes chapter 3. We're going to read verses 1 and 4, but I do encourage you to read the whole chapter. Well, I encourage you to read the whole Bible, but for time's sake, we're going to focus on these two verses. Verse 1 says, "There is an appointed time for everything, and there is a time for every event under heaven." And then we'll skip down to verse 4. It says, "A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance." Here, it's telling us to recognize the balance in life between sorrow and joy. Allow yourself to fully experience moments of happiness and fun without the guilt. This could mean joining in on celebrations, enjoying a dance at a wedding, but of course keeping it clean, or sharing laughter with friends and family. It's a reminder that God intends for us to have joyful experiences alongside the more serious aspects of life. We're going to go ahead and stay in Ecclesiastes, but we're going to go over to chapter 8 and read verse 15. And here's what it says. So I commended pleasure, for there is nothing good for a man under the sun except to eat and to drink and to be merry. And this will stand by him in his toils throughout the days of his life, which God has given him under the sun. Here, Solomon is saying to make the most of life's simple pleasures. This could involve organizing a meal with friends or family where everyone comes together to share food, stories, and laughter. It's a way of cherishing and enjoying the daily blessings that God provides, seeing these moments as opportunities for gratitude and joy. A little bit of a sidetrack here. One thing that I incorporated into my planner this year is a daily gratitude journal. And so each night when I do my journaling time, I find something that I can write down that I'm grateful for. And looking over the month of January so far, I see how blessed I am in the everyday things that I maybe normally don't think of. It's a great reminder. Okay, we're going to jump over to Proverbs now. And in chapter 17, verse 22, it says, "A joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones." Look, things happen in our lives that just plain stink. So cultivating a cheerful and positive attitude in your daily life might mean finding the humor in difficult situations or simply smiling and sharing a kind word with others. In practice, it's about creating a positive environment for yourself and those around you, which can be healing and uplifting for everyone involved. Okay, I have one more for you. We're going to go over to Psalm 118, verse 24. And oh, this is a good one. I mean, they're all good ones, but I really love this one. It says, "This is the day which the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." It's so important to begin each day with a sense of appreciation and joy. This might involve a morning or evening routine where you reflect on the blessings of the day, regardless of the challenges it might bring. It's about embracing the present moment and finding joy in the everyday, recognizing each day as a gift from God. Each of these applications encourage incorporating fun and joy and celebration into our lives in a way that honors God and enriches our daily experience. So don't forget to have a little fun. Let's jump into my goals for the year. Sticking with my word of the year, restore, I set 2 major goals for fun. They are to travel and to share my passion. My value statement is, I want to restore fun in my life by creating a space where I am confident enough to share my passions. This is what my focus will be as I set my monthly and my weekly goals. A couple of weeks ago, I posted a progression of my personal growth goals on my Instagram, and I'm also going to be posting a progression of my fun goals too. Go to Her Strength Podcast on Instagram or Her Strength in Him on Facebook to check it out. Keeping that value statement in mind, as I'm setting my goals for travel, well, it's been a little tough, I'm not going to lie. As I mentioned in the last episode, I have not gone out of the house much in the last year or so, outside of my normal routine things like going to the grocery store or taking my daughter to school or going to church services. And I love to travel, just not by plane. I love me a good road trip with a good road trip playlist. And I love beautiful landscapes. There's just something about taking in the beauty of what God created. It just takes my breath away. And that's something that I absolutely love about living in Arizona. There are some absolutely gorgeous sunsets out here. To help me get through the fear and anxiety of leaving home, I want to travel at least once a quarter. And I set it more as a quarterly goal rather than just a monthly goal because it allows me time to plan and to warm up to the idea of going beyond an hour outside of home. And that's the beauty about goal setting. You can change things up as you're going along. Find what works for you. If there's something that's not working and it's stressing you out, change it. That's okay. Something that I'm doing to work up to traveling is Uber driving, but I'm only delivering food, and I don't want any strangers in my car. This helps me because I don't really know where each delivery is going to take me every time that I sign in, so it helps me to adapt to the unknown. And as I get more comfortable, I can venture out a little further each time. My goal this year is to travel to Sedona because it's in state, it's within a couple of hours where I live, and believe it or not, living in Arizona for almost 10 years, I still have not gone to Sedona. I also want to travel to California because it's out of state, it's a little further, but it's familiar to me. I grew up in California and I know the route there, so it's familiar to me. And also because I've wanted to visit Monterey Bay, especially the aquarium out there. It's been years since I've been there. I also want to travel to Texas because it's, of course, out of state, a little further away, and it's going to take longer than a day to get there. So again, it's just me venturing out a little bit further. And the ultimate goal is to get on a plane by the end of the year. We will see how that goes, and I'll keep you updated. Wish me luck. The second goal that I set for myself in this area is to share my passion. This one I am very excited about. I love to talk, but not so much small talk. I get really weird with small talk. But I love having in-depth conversations where I get to know people better, or we discuss different topics from the Bible to movies to music. A little bit of a sidetrack here. Both of my kids love music, and I love having discussions with them around music. One of my son's favorite musicians is a rapper who doesn't necessarily classify himself as a Christian rapper, but he incorporates a lot of his Christian faith and journey in his music. And it's interesting to me how he has gone from talking about his mental health struggles to getting through them in the progression of his albums. And that's something that my son has taught me about this rapper. With my daughter, well, she is really into like 90s alternative rock sort of music, and I love talking with her about music that I grew up with. Anywho, as you can see, I love to talk. So let's get back on track with the goal of sharing my passion. Aside from building relationships, something that I'll talk a little bit more about in a couple of episodes, I want to share my passion for the Lord. And one or two ways that I have thought of to do that is by writing a book, and of course, doing this podcast. For my podcast, each month, I plan on creating the content outlines for the month, along with finding scriptures that align with each topic. I have even gone as far as putting together a monthly scripture reading or writing plan. This month, it was around new beginnings because, of course, it's the beginning of the year. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you might have noticed the daily stories that I've shared with a different verse around new beginnings. I'm very excited for the next one because I took some of the feedback that I got with the first one and incorporated a couple of new things. Follow me on the socials to check it out. As for writing a book, well, that one has been a little tougher but at the same time, it hasn't. What I find a little bit difficult is setting the time aside to sit down and just jot my thoughts down. But once I do that, it just pours out of me. I have a couple of chapters written already and a title picked out, and a good friend of mine was gracious enough to proofread it for me, and I got a pretty good response. That was motivating. I haven't done much with the book since I started the podcast, but with setting a goal each month and getting all organized, I hope to have a rough draft done by the end of the year. Wish me luck on that too. Something that I also wanted to share was my first, not my first, but one of the many failures that are to come this year. We didn't get the opportunity to do our planning session this weekend because, like I mentioned earlier, I was extremely burnt out and I just laid in my bed and watched a show or two because I just didn't want to think. But in a way, too, that is a form of reflection because maybe I took on too much during a week where I was already going to be very busy. So one thing that I am going to take away from that is if there are things going on throughout the week that are going to deplete my social battery, then maybe I won't set so many commitments for the week. And again, that's the great thing about setting goals and reflecting is you can change it up as you go along. I am hoping for a better week this upcoming week, but it's also going to be a busy one because Chris and I get the keys to our new house this week and I'm so excited. Yay! And so we're going to be moving in little by little. But taking what I learned from this last week, I'm not going to take on so many commitments and my main focus will be to move into our new home. Well, friends, we made it to the end, and if you stuck with me this far, thank you. I very much appreciate you. I hope I was able to motivate you to incorporate some fun in your regular routine in 2024. Don't forget to subscribe or follow so that you get notified when the next episode drops. And hey, I also want to hear from you. What kind of things do you like to do for fun? You can reach out to me on the socials, on Instagram at Her Strength Podcast, or on Facebook at Her Strength in Him. As we continue this series on goal setting, the next episode is going to be focused on work and learning. Stay tuned for more. Thank you again so much for showing your support. Stay blessed, and until next time, friends.